Hello everyone, this is Ali and today I'm going to show you how to change the keyboard for HP Spectre 360 15-inch model. This is actually my personal laptop and I bought it around 2 years ago, so there should be at least one newer model out, but they usually are fairly the same. So mine is the one with the Vega graphics, and yeah, I will just show you how to change the keyboard. So I'm mostly through changing the keyboard, and it's my fault. I just remembered that it may be useful for some of you guys out there. So I decided to at least video the half of the process that is basically putting everything back together. And I still think this will be useful for you guys uh, because if you do the process from the end to the beginning, if you follow that, you will be able to disassemble things. My keyboard, when I pressed one key, a few characters were typed in. So that was the problem. So I ordered a new keyboard from eBay. I will put the link to the seller. And this is the new keyboard. It's the keys and this is the backlight. So just to go through everything, you open the back door. I will explain when assembling it again. Remove the battery, remove fans, and then remove the motherboard with CPU, GPU. Then you have to remove this. This is with some glue glued to back of the keyboard. So you just have to take it away. Don't worry. And all these plugs, you have to carefully remove them. I will show when I'm assembling again how to. And yeah, that's it. So let's go and put everything back together and see if this works or not. So this is the keyboard cable, this one, and you have to carefully remove it. You see it's glued here, so very slowly and carefully. I can see that I'm removing it from the tape, from the glue tape, so I have to see if the new keyboard has the glue tape on it or not. Then I can decide if I want to also remove that or not. Yes, with this we have this 3M, so I can actually remove it from underneath the glue tape. So with my screwdriver I start to, this is very hard. Yes, so I'm sorry I can't actually show you this from all angles, but there's a small gap that you can start from here and you can actually remove this. I hope that the new keyboard works because I don't know if I can put the old one back, but it's not usable anyway. Okay, so the keyboard is out and yeah, it's pretty much similar to the new one if I show you, but let's see if the new one works. So put the old one back and the new one goes right here. Yeah, it seems to fit perfectly. So I remove this back side of this tape, the 3M, and these nice cables just go away, so everything is in place, and I will just stick this back to here. Yeah, seems to be fine. And the cables also look the same. Okay, I'm going to screw back this keyboard. I actually put some markers on the old one to the places that it's need to be screwed, but then I realized that most of the other places, yeah, there are too many. Okay, there are holes that you shouldn't screw. So I marked them and I will use this as a reference so I know which ones to screw back. But it will take a while, so I guess I will stop recording now and come back to you guys when it's over. Okay, now I screwed back the keyboard. Again, it took about 20 minutes, I guess. Now we have to put back the backlight for the keyboard. So the old one, you see, it's sticky. I mean, the old one is still working, but I guess it's better that I use the new one. So it will go here like this. There are two small gaps here that actually shows you if it's in the right place or not. But yeah, and you can tell from this, but I have to remove the tape in front so I can stick it to the back of my keyboard. Something is happening. Okay. Okay, I guess it's best if I do it from this side. So I put it in the actual holes. Yeah. And this one also goes in. So I go for this guy should be out. Should be careful about these things. And now we carefully check if there's something else. Yep, I think it's good enough. Now, yep. Now we continue to assemble the laptop. Did I tell you how much I hate this laptop and HP for making such a bad product? I mean, it's like my 10th or 11th laptop that I owned in my life. I had from the time that it was Fujitsu Siemens, the first Toshibas, Sony Vaio. I never had a MacBook or MacBook Pro, but anyway, I mean, this is the worst. It's my first HP. I had Dell XPS. This is the worst, my first HP, and this is the worst laptop that I have ever had. The build quality is good only on the outside, and it's beautiful, okay, but I mean, XPX 15 it has a much better screen, and I guess it throttles very fast. And this series with Vega GPUs, if you have the same series or maybe even other Spectre x360s with 15 inches, if you get blue screen, it's not your fault. The motherboard is faulty, and it takes the guys 2 times sending the laptop in to admit this problem, because I sent my laptop in and they sent it back to me and just reinstalled Windows. And I told them before send it in that I know, because I have a degree in computer, I have a PhD in computer. so I can actually understand if it's a motherboard problem, or at least if it's a hardware problem or it's a Windows problem. And they told me that they will take care of it, and then within 24 hours they sent it back to me and said, okay, everything is all right. And obviously it wasn't. So I had to send it in again, and this time they agreed to change the main board so I don't get the blue screen of this anymore. So anyway, this is what you can screw first after you put the backlight. So these are two tiny metal clips, but I usually put the screws for each part on the part so I don't forget what goes where. But I mean, each person has his own method of doing things. So for me, it's the best case because I usually forget which screws goes where, and then it's very bad. Yeah, so probably won't buy HP, never again, and will not recommend it to any of my friends. And then my keyboard started double character typing, and my guarantee was over, as I mentioned earlier. And I sent it in, and they actually sent it back to me without repairing it and told me we don't have the part. So yeah. Okay, then there is this that goes here, somewhere here. Yeah. And this guy that also goes here. Yes, this goes also here. So I have the screws for these guys here. So I will start doing that. Anyway, so next we will put back the headphone jack that goes here. And there is a cable for this, but it's not this one. I wonder where's the cable, but I will show somewhere. We put it here and we screw it back. Then we have to put back a USB. I mean, this is not a good design. You shouldn't need all these modules for USB and things with cables all around. So I know I'm nagging a lot, but I really don't like this machine. So USB goes back. So let's see what's next. I guess it's time for the main board to go back in. So here is the main board with CPU, RAM, heatsink. Try not to remove the heatsink. If you do that, you have to repaste the GPU, CPU. Actually, in this case, I guess there is one chip for both. So yeah, it's only remove that when you want to repaste. And if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, pasting is the paste is something that you put between your CPU, GPU, and the heatsink. That helps the sorry, should be very careful to put this back. To helps heat moves from the chip to the heatsink. Yeah, I guess there should be So I first try to put in this USB Type-C and HDMI. When this goes in, everything else suddenly pops into the place. Okay, we have some cables to attach now. I start from here. There are two small ones here. These are only by pressure. So moving in and removing. When you want to remove, try to put two small screwdrivers at two edges and slowly move it out. But putting it back in shouldn't be a problem. So there is another here that also goes in. So these things are can be used to put the plugs back in. So you have this, I guess this is for Wi-Fi. You have 1 and 2. Remember the position. It should be important which goes where. So 1 goes here and 2 goes there. So when you are disassembling this, when you're removing these wires, just remember or write it down somewhere that which goes where. And when it goes in, it sounds like a click, and you actually can understand that it's secured in place. So this is done. Then we move here. These are the connectors for the screen. So first this one goes in. The white one is also just pushing it in. This is a very important cable. You should be careful not to ruin it. So the part that you see, these connectors, they go downside, and you just have to push the cable in. There is a black connector. You move this up and then put the cable in, and then you move the black connector down again. So that's how these things work. But I should be very careful not to scratch the cable while I'm doing this. So this is not something that you want to rush at all. You can easily destroy this, guys. Yeah. Yep. Now it's in, and I just close the black door and it's secured. There is one other here. So these are the things coming from the screen, I guess. It's from the camera, microphone, the screen itself, face detection thingy, the IR camera, and yep. So now these are secured. Let's put SSD back. So we can connect the USB cable on top of it. Yes, now we put the USB cable here. It's the same, just push it in and close the door to secure it. Next thing is the fan. So this one goes here. See? And yeah, but before we do that, let's see. So this is the power of the fan. Yes, I guess it should be here. Put this cable back. So when you are disassembling the computer, you should carefully remove these cables and then unscrew the fan. And you can clean the fan with a blower or just a hair dryer. Put it in cold weather and just blow the dust out. Let me screw this back on and this one. Okay, so the cable for headphone jack goes from here. So this is what I'm talking about. For example, this cable is only for connecting that to motherboard. Too many modules, too many extra cables that are not very good to have. So that one is hopefully, and here goes the power for the, so you can see that it goes here. I don't know if my hand lets you see. So here, so I guess this goes with pressure. Yes, just push it in from above, and we have something here that is for the memory card reader. You see, again, memory card reader, a very tiny cable that connects it. I guess they just want to make things smaller and they have to do some things about that. Okay, so yes, and we go to the other fan here. Put this one also back. The power goes here. Yes, and the screws are on the fan. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. So these are for the motherboard. One goes here, the other one goes so I guess it was this two, but let's see where it goes, because I have 3 screws here and they go 1, 2, 1, 2 like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So these 4 screws are for the back side, so this is the only one that remains. Okay, that is that. I don't have any specific thing left. Now we have to put these cables back carefully again. So this is for the finger scanner, I guess. this one, and the volume rocker, and the speaker goes here. And the keyboard backlight goes actually here. The keyboard cable goes, say, a little bit of extra here. So this one. Yep. Touchpad cable goes so if one of these guys is not actually connected, we have to go back and check them again. Okay, I guess everything is in place now. Then we have this. This actually covers RAM and other parts. So you probably realize that there is no trapdoor that you can easily remove and change the RAM or the hard drive, I mean the SSD. You should actually open the back side of the laptop and remove this guy if you want to change memory or your SSD. Okay, that goes in place. There are small tiny clips that this goes in between them, so be careful about that. These guys go back, this goes underneath this edge. Yeah, it doesn't stick anymore, but doesn't matter. So, battery. We just put the battery back. Yep. And this is the connector for the battery. So when you open the laptop, I guess the best thing is to do is usually first thing you remove the battery, because when there's no power inside, there is much less risk of destroying anything. So my advice would be to remove this guy first when you open. So when you're disassembling, remove this, remove battery, then remove this guy, then unscrew motherboard, remove RAMs, remove the cables, remove the main board, and then you have to remove the things on the back side of the keyboard and get to the keyboard. But you don't always need to go that far. For example, you can use this disassembly or assembly video to go get in and just change your RAM, for example, or SSD. So let me screw the battery back. last one goes here. Yep, it's done. I have only 2 screws that I forgot to put in their places, and that's actually a very good record for me. Okay, so when you open the device, you have to remember something. There are 2 screws here, and there is this guy, this plastic ribbon glued here. So you have to remove this, just put the tip of your screwdriver and just remove it all the way. Then there are 4 screws underneath that. But all of them, when you removed, so you have to open 6 screws. So, but even when you open them, it still doesn't come off easily. And that's because you have this thing in the middle. So you actually have some, if you don't know if I'm showing it correctly, but here you can see there are plugs that prevent it from getting out. So when you open the screws, you just put your finger a little bit inside and try to remove it with a bit of pressure from both sides till it's out. So there are these guys in the middle, just so you know about them. Okay, and putting it back is from this side. You just put this back, and you see these plastic guys. These go to the back side of the hinge. So put them in first, and when they are in, you gently push this middle thing, so that goes in, and then you are done. And these guys go here. I just hope everything goes fine because I'm closing it now. Yeah. And this one goes here. Is a bit. You have to go from both sides because it will be a bit of extra when you're removing it. Okay. So let's see if everything works. So now I will try to turn this on to see if everything works. Yeah, so CMOS is reset because we removed the battery, but that shouldn't be something to worry about. Congratulations, configuration, yeah. So when you remove the battery, you will get something like this. Don't worry, it's something normal. And if you have changed something in your CMOS, in your BIOS, you have to go back and reset it again because it goes to the default. Okay, let's just look at it. First keyboard light. It works. That's good. So let's see if the keys are also working. So with this I can turn on and off this, and if I just create a new, I don't know, text document, I guess that should be enough. And let's see, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. Yep, everything seems to be working. Keypad and the numbers. Good. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, please ask. Hopefully I can answer that. And please, if you liked it, like and subscribe to my channel. And I will try to put more technical videos. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, evening, and night. Bye bye.